everyone,
Hello!
and welcome to Kirsty and Bryony's Comfort Zone.
I am Kirsty.
And I am Bryony, and we are here to listen to each other's dreams and figure out what the heck is going on in our heads. I got through all of that without sniffing. I'm quite
You did,
proud.
well done.
Woohoo! Now to just do the rest of the podcast. So, I have a weird thing to bring to the table today.
Oh?
Which I've already told you about, but it's been a couple of weeks since we recorded because I've been away. And it happened just before I went away. But basically, I had a nap. And I love naps, but I rarely have them. But you know when you wake up from a nap and you're a little bit disorientated and like a bit like, oh, how long have I been asleep? What time is it? What's happening?
Mm-hmm. Me every morning.
I had a dream in this nap that was basically, not only was it first person, it was like in front of my eyes, or my eyes were a computer screen. And the computer screen was malfunctioning. It was like it had blue screened, and I had to reboot this program. And the implication of this was that life was a simulation and my program had just crashed, and that's why I was having a nap, and I just had to reboot so I could get back into the program.
I think I remember you saying about this. Yeah.
Yeah, I woke up so confused. Not only did I not know what time it was and how long I'd been asleep, I didn't know if life was real. I didn't know if I existed. I was just like, I was immediately thrown into this like, like, what is happening? It felt so real. It was the strangest dream I think I've ever had. And I did not care for it.
But yeah, those are super bizarre, like really, really bizarre. I think I've talked about the time that I had a dream once where I just fully like dissociated and I was like watching myself and I didn't know who I was. Have I told you about that one?
I think so. Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah, that was a time. That was really bizarre. Really, really strange. But
it's just
they throw you off, don't they?
Yeah, like why do our brains think, I know what'll be fun? What can I do for the next 20 minutes whilst you've chosen to have a nap? I know. Just existential crisis. Why not?
Oh dear.
The other weird dream thing I've been getting at the moment, most nights now, and I specifically blame Christopher Trott for this one. But ever since he told me that thing about how people with aphantasia can still imagine stuff they can do it, but only when they're unconscious. So that's why you can still have very vivid dreams and stuff. Now I wake myself up pretty much every night when I start drifting off to sleep, and I'll suddenly be like, oh my God, I can imagine things. And it's just because I've crossed over into that threshold, and then I wake up and I can't do it anymore.
Aww.
And it happens like pretty much every night. I'll be like, I pictured something. And I get really excited and then I wake myself up.
Oh my God. Oh, that's really sad.
It's really weird. Like, I don't understand what it is about that little threshold between awake and asleep that suddenly it just opens up, and I'll get like all of a sudden like a really vivid image in my head. And then as soon as I'm trying to hold onto it, it just slips away, and then I'm lying there wide awake like, nope, only the darkness now.
Oh no. Well, I've been like having one of those times where the brain just will not shut up when I'm trying to go to sleep. It's just lots of random streams of nonsense.
Yeah.
Like 1 minute I'll be thinking about Pathfinder, then I'll be thinking about what we were talking about on Discord earlier, then I'll be thinking about something else, and then something else, and then something else. And sometimes just random thoughts just fly into my head as well. Like yesterday I was trying to have a nap on the sofa, and I was sitting there, I was thinking about stuff, then other stuff, then other stuff. And then suddenly I just pictured an old lady, like as if she turned on the front-facing camera just right in my face. And it almost made me jump. Like genuinely, it came out of absolutely nowhere. And I was like, why did I just imagine that? I don't know, but there it is. And it's really strange. The brains are so weird. It's like sometimes, I'll be laying there and I'll just get a random word in my head as if someone just said it, and it's just Very strange. Is that an ADHD thing? I don't know.
Maybe. I get it where I'll just say to Alex, like, I'm really sorry, I just have to say this out loud. And then I'll just have to say, like, onomatopoeia. Just because I'm like, sorry, it's in my head and I just have to
it will just
vocalize it.
Keep repeating in your head if you don't say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have been having a little dabble of insomnia as well. I don't know what it is about this time of year, but I had the other night where I just could not get to sleep. And I was like, okay, I know the thing that I'm meant to do is get up and do something else, because it's meant to be bad if you start not associating your bed with sleepy night time. So if you're lying awake, the more you do that, the more it becomes, this is where I lie awake and think space. So I was like, do you know, I'm going to get up and I'm going to read until I feel sleepy. And I started a new book and I read like 150 pages and then it was 3:30 in the morning. And I was like, I should just try and sleep now. And then I finished the book the next day.
Oh my
God.
I was
just like, I just can't sleep anymore. So I powered through this. Like, I mean, the book was only like 330 pages, but I powered through it in a day just because I couldn't sleep. But then all of my dreams recently have been very on the nose. Like, I did Mystery Quest yesterday, and the dream I had the night before was that I was in a shop that had lemon shirts in it, and I was going to buy everyone lemon shirts so we could turn up and be like, hee, we're wearing the same shirt as Tom. It's just stuff like that that's just been like,
oh my God.
You were in my dream last night, actually, but I can't remember.
What did I do?
I think it was literally that we were going to record Comfort Zone. I think it was just something really on the nose like that.
You know, I think I had something like that waking up as well. It was probably the usual, like, oh, I'm late for Comfort Zone, or I don't know, something. I think just, I don't remember it at all.
Yeah.
It's like you said, like, it must be the time of year. I feel like there's something in the air at the moment that's just burning everybody out, and I don't know what it is. But so many people I know have just been so tired and like so ready for bed. And
is it just like, are we lacking the D? Because the sun has gone away a bit.
I mean, it's nice and sunny today.
Oh, it's very grey in Bristol.
Oh, it's nice and sunny here. I was tempted to go out for a walk.
Yeah. I wonder if it's because it is coming up to the time when the veil between the living and the dead worlds are thinnest. So maybe it's the dead draining us of our life energy.
Maybe.
Is that scientific?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah. Well, I would like to ask them why they do it to me most of the year. Give it a rest.
Yeah, I went on a holiday for like 4 days and then I got back and I've been really tired ever since. And I'm like, I need a day off, but I've just had an entire week off. Why do I need a day off now?
I had yesterday off, right? And on Tuesday evening, I had a feeling that I've not had in such a long time where I was like, I'm not doing anything tomorrow, even though I had a recording, but I was like, I'm not doing anything tomorrow. I don't have to think about it. It was like a Friday afternoon or a Friday evening after school, you know. But then yesterday I spent the whole day just like, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. And I just didn't have a restful day at all. And I feel worse for it. I don't know. It's just, you just can't rest ever. I
swear, like when you have a job that isn't a typical like 9 to 5, and when you leave the office at 5, you take nothing home with you.
Mm-hmm.
I swear it's so difficult to have peaceful time off.
Yeah.
Because I get the same. I'll be like, I should use this time to get ahead with this or to do this, because you don't have that. And especially when like the computer and space that you work in is also your I was going to say pleasure place, but I mean like leisure leisure and pleasure space. It's so difficult to not like even when I'm playing a game or talking to friends in the evening, if I tried a game last night called, I think it's called Kletka. It's like a horror game. It's sort of like, what's it called? Lethal Company but you go into this fleshy lift that has teeth, and you go down floors and you scavenge the floors and then go back and you feed the lift. And every time I died in that game, immediately I'm on my second monitor replying to emails and sending messages and all of this stuff and trying to organize things. And I'm like, even in that like short space of like 5 minutes, I'm like, I'll just squeeze a little bit of work in. And it feels like so difficult to just tune to do a severance.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of the opposite at the minute. Because I've been so burnt out, I have not been checking my emails, and I've got like 40 of them just stacked up now. Like, sorry if anyone's emailed me. I'm not going to reply. Even when people message me on Discord, I'm like, please leave me alone.
Yeah.
The amount of times I have just outwardly been like, please don't message me. I do not want to talk ever.
It's like, I know quite a few people now who have separate Discords so they don't get notifications from work Discords on their phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is so tempting to just actually just log out. And
yeah, that is a good idea.
Log back in on Monday.
The thing is, I don't have like weekends off, which is the problem.
Yeah.
I think like people who like work, say in the office and stuff, that it works for them. But I think for us, it's like, when do we get the day off?
You should have a word with your boss.
Yeah, I should.
This.
Yeah. Man, speaking of video games, I like those. I've done something terrible. I'm back into RuneScape.
Oh.
And
I'm clicking.
I'm clicking, baby. I can't stop. The numbers are going up and I'm having a great time. I just, it's one of those games that you can just boot up when you have a 5-minute break and just click some stuff and then be like, okay, cool, I'm done. Or like if you're doing something that doesn't, it doesn't require any brain power because you're just clicking things. It's a clicker game. Yesterday when we had a break during the recording, we recorded a session, then we were like, right, 5-minute break, and then another session after. I was like, right, let's go RuneScape.
I tried to
Tom Hazel, bless him, when he has to edit it, he'll be like, what the fuck? Sorry, carry on.
Recently there was like Steam Next Fest, and I was like, I'll try out some demos. And I found this one demo that for some reason just grabbed me, and I played through the demo like 4 times, and then I played it again. I was sort of talking about like the demos I played, and I was like, well, there is this one, but I've already played it, but I'll just play it again on stream. Why not? I'll just play it again. And then I found myself loading it up again the other night, and I was like, I need to uninstall this because you don't progress. It's just the same thing, but for some reason it tickles that part of my brain where I'm just like, I want to play it again.
Yeah.
It's called Lost But Found.
Okay.
And all you do is you work in a lost property thing, and there's like a conveyor belt that brings you items, and then people come to the desk and ask for the items, and it's just that. And for some reason, I think it's just that dopamine hit of tiny tasks constantly matching things up, that it just did something to me, and I was like, I just want to play this.
Yep. This is the issue I'm having with RuneScape. It's like I'm doing Slayer tasks. So basically you go to the Slayer Master and they're like, right, I want you to kill 100 Banshees. And it's like, okay, off I go. And I go and I click them and I kill 100 Banshees. Then I go back and I go, hello, I need a new task. And they go, okay, go and kill 100 dragons. And it's just that. That is it. It's just constant. There is no payoff. That is just what you do. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude, let's go. I'll do it for 8 hours a day. Like, what? I don't understand why. But it's just so addictive. Like seeing the numbers go down as you beat the enemies and then going back and being like, I did it. It's like, yeah.
I think in a way, like with our job, this is one thing I've noticed when I do, because I spend part of my time doing streaming and part of my time doing editing, and the satisfaction I get from editing is so much more because I feel like I start a task, I work through it, I finish it, it's complete, I've done a thing. Whereas the streaming, you get to the end of a stream, but you're just going to stream again tomorrow. There's not really that sense of like completion.
Yeah.
I mean, you might get it if you like play a long game and then you get to the finale of that game or something like that. But I very rarely complete games on stream. I mostly like trial a game for 3 hours and then I'll play a different game the next day. So I think just when you do get those games that have those completions where it's like, I saw a task through to the end and I finished it. It's just such a high to finish a quest sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I've seen people say that is how they get themselves to do their to-do list, is to set themselves like quests to finish things.
Yeah, it's like that Goblin Tools website, right? Like there was a time when everyone was using that because it would use AI to break down your tasks into smaller tasks and stuff, which is really good. And it did work for a bit, but my problem is opening up the website and writing down the tasks I need to do. That's the hurdle. I need to put that on a to-do list.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when you were around last and I was looking through my notebooks and found that to-do list from like 2017 or something with nothing ticked.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
I had the energy to write the list, but did I go on to do anything?
Nope.
No.
God, no.
Would you like to hear a dream I had earlier this month that I've completely forgotten?
Of course.
Woohoo!
Hit me with your dream.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. I had a dream that it was like I was in the Amazon and everyone else was in these little boats, just normal rowboats. And I was swimming around. And suddenly there was this shape in the water. And it was like, oh my gosh, there's a hippo coming towards me. And I knew hippos could be quite dangerous. They didn't really do anything. It was swimming towards me with its mouth open, but didn't try to eat me, but I sort of like went around the side and was trying to push it away. And I called out for help, but I was worried that they would like hurt the hippo sort of thing. I think there was a second hippo there as well. But then we got to this place that was like a clock tower, I think. And I went inside it. Something happened, but I can't remember what. But then someone was like, oh, can you help me with the birds? And I was like, okay. And there was they went up the ladder up to the top of it, but there was a pigeon walking around, so I was like, oh, I'll just pick up this pigeon. So I scooped them up, and I think I also had to put down my bag. My bag was shaped like a pigeon. But I put down my pigeon bag and picked up the pigeon, and Cassie ran over and was so excited and was trying to get a photo of this pigeon. And I was like, why is she so excited by this? It's a pigeon. And then I was like, okay, time to let them go. And as soon as I let them go, I realized I'd been holding a macaw somehow. And the macaw was really sleepy and just flew over to the river and then just face planted into it. And I was like, oh, geez, we should probably keep them here a little bit longer. So I was running over to pick them up out the water. And that's when I woke up. The end.
Lots of aminos.
Lots of aminos. And you being excited
I'm
for
an
the
animal.
pigeon. You are.
I would be excited by a pigeon.
Yeah, to be fair, me too. I love pigeons.
And a macaw.
Yeah.
I would love all of them.
So I guess the water, we very much know anxiety.
How much water was there? Did you say it was
I was in the Amazon River.
It was literally in the Amazon River, okay. I hear river, but then it's like Amazon River. Okay, that's slightly bigger than a regular river.
Big river.
And the fact that the macaw face planted into it.
Yeah, it did that thing a bit. I was like, I release you. You are well now. And it just flew and then just stopped and face planted. I was like, oh, maybe they're a bit sleepy.
Oh, he's just a sleepy guy.
I think part of this is recently it's this simple. I've been thinking about pigeons a lot because I've been just, I don't know. I think I just think about pigeons a lot of the time anyway.
Understandable.
I have always thought if I had a bigger house with a bigger garden, I would love to look after pigeons. I'd love to rescue pigeons. Every time.
God, I would love to do that. Pigeons are just, they're so cool.
They're
so
just
nice.
little guys that aren't meant to be outside. We domesticated them and then we forgot about them and now they're just doing their best. And when I see the ones with the little gammy legs, I feel really bad. I think maybe around this time I had seen a pigeon that was like sat in the road, like by the side, like not in the middle of the road, but to the side where they were safe-ish. And they were just like sat there. And I was a bit like, I was on my way to work and I was thinking, should I try and pick them up and see if they let me? Should I move them? Are they okay? And you know when that just plays on your mind for the rest of the day where you're like, were they okay? Should I go back? Should I check on them? All of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it must have been around about that time where I was just thinking, maybe this was my brain being like, what if I had have gone back and rescued that pigeon? That was maybe fine. I don't know. But yeah, I think
it's tough.
I just love pigeons.
So many of the little pigeons around here, or just in the whole country, I think, are just so gammy. And it's like, God, I wish I could help them. Like, you know, a lot of the ones around here and in London especially, they're like, you know, they've got little stubby legs and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, how are you getting around, you little guy?
And it's one of those things that I feel I get so confused because I'm like, I want to feed the pigeons and take care of them. But then I get scared because I'm like, what if I then teach them that people are okay and then a bad person comes along and they think they're okay and then they're not and they end up hurt and all of this stuff. And I go through such a minefield of panic when it comes to pigeons. So I think this was just my safe space to rescue a pigeon and know it was okay. I used to volunteer at this rescue. There was a bunny rescue, but they were always looking after pigeons as well. So I think that has always made me want to look after them. And we would get them in at the vets as well quite a bit. But yeah, I would love to look after pigeons.
Yeah, we never really got any pigeons in. I guess people don't bring pigeons to the RSPCA. Like at a vet, you're far more likely, I reckon.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we got a lot of squirrels, but we didn't get any pigeons, sadly. I'd love to meet a pigeon.
Squirrels coming in. Because I know that people mean well to bring squirrels in, but also vets aren't allowed to treat them.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah. I mean,
I
think we sort of maybe did. Like
just on the down low.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We luckily we had a lady who rehabbed squirrels who worked with us. Well, who worked for us. Like she was just one of my co-workers, and she would like take it upon herself. She'd take them home and like hand feed them and stuff. So the squirrels were always in good hands, luckily.
I want to be that. My dream would be to just live in like a cottage on the outskirts of somewhere and be that person who, if anyone finds any animals, they're like, oh, we should take them to Mad Lady Bronchi. They just bring them to me and I open the door and I've got like a bird nesting in my hair and a squirrel on my shoulder and I'll be like, yes, I will look after them, don't worry. That's what I want.
Same but with rats. Bring them all to me, thank you.
You can live next door in the rat house and I'll be in the pigeon and squirrel house.
Hell yeah.
And the hedgehogs.
I'll take it. I will take it. I bloody love rats. I want more. the thing I've said it a bazillion times, but if I lived closer to Bristol, like, and because my parents don't live here anymore, I don't have people to come over and look after my pets as much.
Yeah.
Luckily, my mum comes down to look after Tabs, but I think it would be taking the mick a bit to ask her to come down and look after my rats for a week.
Well, I hear there's a plan for you to move to Bristol and live on a caravan site.
Yeah, Niles, he's got a plan in the works, bless him. He wants us all to buy a caravan. We'll all have a caravan each in a big circle. And we'll all live on a caravan site. He said not Bristol because it's too expensive, so he's looking at Bath, which I think is probably more expensive.
You say that. I found out the other day Bath is cheaper than Bristol now.
Is it actually?
That's how ridiculous Bristol's got.
Huh.
That the posh place is actually less. I mean, it's still ridiculous, but slightly less spenny. I wonder if you could buy some land.
True.
Instead of a house.
Just buy some land and get a caravan on it.
Yeah. You could just put it on my drive.
Yeah, true. Everyone else does.
Yeah.
That's an in-joke. Sorry, everyone.
I was saying to Darcy the other day, just rent my drive and put... Well, does he even have the bongo anymore?
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah, just put that on it and just live. It'd be cheaper than paying rent or a mortgage.
Yeah, true. Man, I would love to move down. I wish I could be down more often. Because again, this is something I've talked about a bazillion times. But yeah, like I'm 2.5 hours away from everyone. You know, I'm away from all my pals.
Yeah,
and it's just I would love to be closer. And I'd love to, if I was closer, I'd be able to be in more things. I'd be able to go to the office more, and that would be so good. But god damn, it's expensive. It's so expensive.
I was saying earlier today, like, if I was buying in Bristol now, I would not be able to afford my own house.
Yeah.
That's how much it's gone up by in just like a couple of years. It's madness. And it's got to burst at some point, surely. Like, it can't carry on this way.
Hopefully.
It's just, I went on a bit of a rant earlier about just like how many businesses have closed down in Bristol, and like a lot of the food places I like have closed and all this stuff. And I'm like, it's just madness. Cause he lives, and Brexit it's just, When you look back at, back in my day, Freddo was 20p or 15p, and nowadays it's a fiver. I don't know how much Freddos cost.
I think, were they 10p? They were never 5p, but I think they were 10p.
I mean, I remember when Feast ice creams used to be 60p.
Jeez, okay.
Yeah, I'm old.
She's very old.
Whereas nowadays, what are they, like £1.20, £1.50? Maybe?
120 was what came into my head, but honestly, we might be a few years behind. They could be £2 at this point. You never know.
Oh
God!
I really am.
God, this is a really depressing episode. Sorry, everyone. We're just talking about how burnt out and how old we are, and how expensive everything is.
Zone. I was talking to Lewis and Ben yesterday about like, do you remember when you used to have to reconnect to the internet every hour, and if someone wanted to make a phone call, you had to disconnect from the internet.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, kids these days, they don't know how good they've got it, internet in their pocket whenever they want. All this stuff.
Oh my God.
We were talking about like downloading stuff from Kazaa, and how, like, I think someone said about how, like, every now and then you would hear about someone being arrested for it. Like, that was enough to keep you a little bit like, it has happened.
For what? For like piracy?
Yeah.
Right.
And
did you say Kazaa? Is that an old one for old people?
Oh.
I used LimeWire.
Yeah, Kazaa was like a similar thing.
Yeah.
And there was a time when, so basically, I just had a folder on my family computer that was just called downloads, and it was just things I had sort of, illegally downloaded. And my dad had had his car vandalized, separate incident, and had told the local police about it. So they obviously had to come around and get a statement. I did not know about this. So I was just sat as like, I must have been about 14 or so, organizing my downloads folder. And all of a sudden I literally turned around and there was like a full uniform police walking into, and I was just like, this is it. I'm one of those that's going to be taken down. They're going to find all my downloads of Placebo and Travis, and this is it for me now.
Oh my God.
I'm going to jail.
Oh my God.
I just remember like really slowly clicking off of it and being like, hello.
Oh, that's so funny.
But we were talking about like all the mishaps that would happen. Like I loved the band Travis, but when I went to download the album, I accidentally downloaded the entire discography of Randy Travis, who's like a country singer. And I remember it used to take days to like download things back in that time. And then you'd finally listen to it and be like, what is this?
Half of it would be like recorded off of a radio as well. Like it was such poor quality. I remember, you know, when you were young, that song, who's that by? The Killers? I don't know.
Yeah.
I had that, which I assume I downloaded, and it had like a radio like host at the end of it, just introducing the next song, and that was it's burned into my brain now. Like when I listen to that song, I know where all of those particular bits are, and they're never there anymore, obviously. But I'm like, oh.
Well, it's like I remember back in the days where you would copy like an album onto a tape so you could listen to it in the car.
Yeah,
and you'd like get to the end of the first half, it would have half a song, you'd turn it over, and then at the end of the second half there'd be another end of a song, so you'd turn it over expecting to hear the rest of that, but of course it's just back to the beginning, and you're like, oh yeah, it's not just an infinite tape that you always turn over. I remember when like Friends DVDs were double-sided, so you'd get to the end of an episode and have to turn the DVD over.
Oh my God.
It's just the magic of technology.
Jeez. Yeah, I remember like when I was, I don't know, 10, 11 years old, my dad taught me how to burn CDs. So I would just sit there and just make like, I guess like mixtapes. I would sit there burning them to CDs and decorating the cases and stuff. Oh, geez.
I have so many fake CDs that my friend made me because he would make me copies of albums he thought I would like and then print out like a really bad copy, like photocopy of the album cover.
Oh,
good times though.
Good times.
But I did actually find one of my favorite bands through downloading the wrong thing. So
oh, really?
It could happen. The band Bright Eyes. I was trying to download a song from this. I'm so cool. I was trying to download a song from Fiddler on the Roof called Sunrise Sunset, and it accidentally downloaded the Bright Eye song of the same name. And I listened to it and I was like, this is great. Like, this isn't from what I wanted, but I love this. And then I ended up looking up more of their songs, and now they're one of my favorites. So sometimes crime pays off.
Sometimes crime does pay.
Remember that, everyone. Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh my God, it's weird. I guess it's like a purely like, or maybe not only millennial, but like, what's the other one? Gen X. Like this weird upbringing we had where we were just burning CDs and downloading music illegally and stuff. And now you've got all the young kids that are just not. They don't know how to use a PC, and then like the generation above that, which also didn't know how to use a PC.
Yeah,
yeah, and I don't know. It's so funny. We had a weird time.
But just like also all of these things where I was saying to Alex the other day, I feel like we grew up in like the perfect time in a way where like the internet was around enough to be interesting, but it didn't feel, I mean, maybe I just got lucky, but it didn't feel as much of like it was before like cyberbullying and all of this stuff. I mean, maybe that did go on, and I was just lucky with that. But nowadays, when you've got, kids can message each other straight after school and the bullying can continue. Whereas I would go home and I would not see the people who were not very nice to me until the next time I was at school. Like, they didn't have that sort of access.
Yeah. You weren't friends with them on MSN.
Yeah. So they couldn't see what emo lyric I had as my name on MSN.
This is the thing.
I think there was one person who I had like a weird thing where there was this like guy I was, I say going out with, but in that like teenage, not really. I barely remember them, but I do remember that all of a sudden I had this random girl in quotation marks add me on MSN and start asking me questions about him. And I'm pretty sure to this day that it was him trying to get me to say stuff about him, because just getting added by this random person being like, oh, I hear you're going out with, for the sake of this, John, I hear he's a good kisser and stuff like that. And I was just like, okay.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a totally MSN thing to do. God, I remember one time a boy who liked me, like we were pals and we were talking on MSN, and I don't know what we were talking about, but he started talking about something. I don't know if he was telling me he liked me or he was talking about something like that. And I copied and pasted it to a friend. And I accidentally sent it back to him.
Oh, no.
And he was like, what's that? And I was like, what? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Must be a weird glitch. I don't understand. I don't know what you mean.
Oh, my gosh. I live in fear of doing that. If someone sent me a message and I want to tell someone else, I'm like, do not send it back to them. Do not send it.
I've done it a couple of times. I'm a nightmare. I think I had a dream about doing it the other day, in fact. Oh, God.
Jeez. But yeah, I feel like now there's so many like terrifying things that can be used to like, I don't know, like edit photos of people and all of this stuff that I'm just like, I'm so glad that, because like, it's like when people like grow up with a lot of their lives being online and a lot like every dumb picture that's taken of you is put online and all this stuff. Whereas we were still taking like disposable cameras with us on holidays when I was growing up. So I feel like a lot of it's maybe out there in someone's attic, but a lot of it is just lost to the ether. And I'm quite
we weren't
glad for it.
Young enough at the time to I think once it got to the point where you could start posting freely, it was cringe deviant art time, right?
Yeah.
And we were able to go back and delete that. It's fine.
Yeah. And live
But
journal.
before that, it was like, Facebook wasn't a thing. And then when Facebook came along, like people were just posting everything.
Yeah.
Like, if someone had a kid, it would be like, here's 10,000 pictures of my baby and everything is online.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when we were younger, like that wasn't necessarily the thing. And yeah, going back to like people who would be mean to you and bully you, like you just didn't have that. Like we had a couple of people who had videos put up on YouTube, like really early YouTube. But they were like really specific cases. It wasn't a common thing. It was like, one or two people. I remember one time one of our teachers was an amateur wrestler and he did like a video on YouTube where he called out another wrestler and then everybody found it and it was like, no. Bless him.
But I feel like when I was using the internet, I felt like it was still very much seen as like you're a nerd on your nerd computer doing nerd things. We're cool. Yeah. We don't do that. So it was just like my little safe space. Like I said to Alex the other day, as well, I remember being like 12 and going on the Channel 4 chat forums or chat rooms. And I remember I still remember the names of the moderators of those chat rooms because to me,
Channel 4 forum,
they were like the coolest people in the world. I remember thinking like one day I'm going to grow up and I'm going to be a
Channel 4 forum mod.
Yeah, I'm going to have the best job in the world because I'll be a moderator for Channel 4. And like, I remember in my head, they were all like grown up and beautiful and like titans of like the best people that there were, because I was just this it's like not even a teenager yet. You had to be 16 to use them, but I just used them anyway. I'm a bad bitch.
I was even worse. I was on teen chat when I was like 11. Like the fucking chat rooms full of not teenagers. Just like, hello everyone, ASL.
Yeah.
I'm 17. I am not. Oh dear. It was good, but it was also not good.
I know, like I look back at some of the things I did in the early days of being on the internet and I'm like, that is
That's
good.
not good.
I remember being 16 and going to like meetups with people in their 30s. I'm like, that is so like just terrible in so many different ways now. I look back at it, but I survived.
I lived.
I remember like when I first got a phone, just going to the chat room and messaging my friend and being like, here's my phone number, call me.
Oh.
And it turns out, you know, I still know him to this day. He's actually fine. I lucked out many times with who I spoke to.
Yeah, I've still got a couple of pals like that I knew on like DeviantArt and stuff. But I think with DeviantArt, I was kind of a little bit like you were with the Channel 4 forums. Like there were people on there and I was young and I was like, oh, these people are all like really good at art and they're all older. They're really cool.
Yeah.
But then some of them were just not nice. I remember I was actively, in the past, I think some people have tried to pick on me and they've not tried very hard because I would have known if they were trying very hard, but they've tried to pick on me and I've just been so oblivious that they've just kind of stopped. And there was someone on DeviantArt that was a bit of a bully to me. Like they would post like horrible pictures and be like, haha, this is Kirsty and stuff like that. Yeah. Like and this guy, he was probably like 15, 16. But I was like, oh my God, he's older. He's so cool. And I was just so oblivious, neurodivergent 10-year-old. I was just like, haha, yeah, that's funny. And it's just looking back, I'm like, no, that guy was trying to bully you.
It's like, I remember there was a time when I was talking in the Channel 4 chat rooms and I think I had like gone away for a bit and I came back and I was like, hello, did you miss me? And the person, I still remember this so clearly. They were like, yep, like a hole in the head. And I was like, oh, thank you. And I was like, wait, what?
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so funny.
And I remember like people would have, you could make your own like side rooms where people would use to cyber, as it was called back in the day.
Oh,
and
no. On the Channel 4 forums?
I know, smut.
What?
And I remember me and one of my friends were like, we should like see what it is that they do. So we made our own room, we sat in it, and we were like, what do we say? And they were like, I don't know what people say. And I was like, me neither. And then we left.
Oh my God. That's so funny. Oh my God.
I think my clearest memory of the Channel 4 chat rooms though is when I was listening to Placebo and playing Neopets and the word lube came on in the Placebo song. So I immediately went to Channel 4 and was like, hello everyone, how's it going? What is lube? And they were like, it's short for lubricant. And I was like, I don't know what that is either, but I've already asked one question, so I better not press it. So I
of course.
Like, oh, thank you. Okay, bye.
Oh my God. Oh. Everybody, moral of the story, please look after your children on the internet.
Yes.
Otherwise they'll end up like us.
Yeah. Dear, oh dear. I feel like it was just such a sweet spot of the internet though, where it's not what it was. Maybe that's good. I don't know.
It might be good, but I mean, it's kind of worse in a different way now because everything's fake, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, the dead internet theory, like everything's just AI. It's all, there's a lot of it as well. Like if you Google stuff, like half of the results are AI and everything's just not real and it's just soulless and poo. Whereas back in the day, you could go on MySpace and then you could see people's cool profiles and their top friends and wow. And then you could go and join a dodgy chat room and talk to old men and nobody cared. Wow. Basically, it's always been terrible. The internet was a mistake.
I remember me and my friend every 6 months or something would do this live journal thing where you filled in a saucy questionnaire, and it would always be like, how many people have you kissed? How many people have you, etc., etc. And we would then like compare each other's. And if one of the numbers had gone up, we'd be like, oh, who? Wench. Who is this? Tell me.
Wench.
As I was thinking about it now, and if you asked me like, what was the first name of the person who you went out with, I'd be like, I don't know. Shut up. I don't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday.
I don't know. I don't care.
I think my live journal got nuked. I went to go and find it, and I think they just said anyone who's not used theirs in this many years, it's done.
Yeah, they just delete them, don't they?
Yeah.
I never used LiveJournal. I had what was that other? There was a website where you could literally just freewebs.com. That was what it was called. It was a free website hosting website. And I think you could pay to get like custom URLs and stuff, but you could just have like freewebs.com/Kirsty is great. And then you just have a website and you can just decorate it how you like. It was like having your shit MySpace profile and just putting loads of GIFs on it, you know. I made so many.
I had such a memory the other day of, did you ever use, you're probably too young for it, but did you ever use Face Party before Facebook?
No, I didn't.
It was like a social media thing, but it had an agony aunt who was called Grim Rita, and she was like a dominatrix who people would ask her for advice, and she would basically just belittle them in a humorous way. And I remembered that the other day, and I was just like, I wonder if anyone else remembers her. So I was Googling trying to find out, like, how is Grim Rita these days? And so many people were just like posting like, oh my gosh, Face Party. I remember Face Party.
Oh my God.
I remember when Facebook came out and I was like, oh, it will never replace Face Party.
Little did we know. I think before Facebook, I was very much on MySpace. Bebo. Gosh, what else was there? There wasn't much else, was there?
I never
really
felt cool enough for MySpace. I had one, but I don't think anyone cared about being in my top 8 spaces.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really cared about mine either, but I loved it.
You would be in my top 8 if I had MySpace now.
You would be in my top 8. Oh gosh, I loved MySpace though. I don't know what the hell we did on it. Oh, and Tumblr, but I think Tumblr was post Facebook. I think that was more sort of 2011.
Tumblr just passed me by. It's been a very modern thing for me just to look at fan art of Hades.
Tumblr is not as good as it used to be. I will say that. Like, I like it for fan art, and I like keeping track of like the fan artists that are in the community and stuff on there. But it's really not as good as it used to be. The algorithm is garbage. Like, I will go on Tumblr and it will decide to show me posts that I reblogged 6 months ago, and that's my whole feed. And I'm just like, okay, thanks, I guess.
It shows me a lot of like sexy camera things. It'll be like,
like the bot spam.
Yeah, it's like because you follow the hashtag Yogscast.
Yogscast, yeah. Like, the Yogscast one is there's a bot out there that just keeps posting porn to the Yogscast tag, and I report it every time because I'm like, I don't want to see that. But yeah, there are a lot of them. I think I get it
as well because obviously I follow things like Bunny.
Oh God, like,
yeah, so you're like this. I'm like, no. Just I like a bunny.
Yeah, I think they just choose random tags and just shove them in there, and I don't know why they haven't dealt with that. It's weird.
Dear oh dear.
Dear oh dear.
I looked up hippopotamus.
Oh yeah.
Going back to the dream.
There are dreams that are happening.
It says there's 2 things. Hippopotamus dreams, meaning often symbolize people who have more strength than you realize. If this is your case, it might be time to learn how others see your actions and attitudes so that you can reform them accordingly. So I just need to change, basically.
Yeah, just be different.
And it also says, this is a different one, because it wasn't in the book. I've looked it up on a website. But it also says, The hippopotamus's semi-aquatic nature and association with water could symbolize the need to delve deeper into your emotions and subconscious mind.
Oh.
It might be a sign to explore your feelings and tap into your intuition for a better understanding of yourself and your life path. Path. So there you go.
There you go.
I have a feeling
Mm.
it might just be to do with the fact that the internet has gone crazy about a pygmy hippo.
Maybe. Did you know? I think Rydian might have said this the other day, but Mudeng has a twin. There are 2 Dengs.
Oh.
But Mudeng gets all of the spotlight.
Oh my gosh, there's also another baby hippo that was born recently that I think they were like, was it in the zoo in, wait, where is it the Belgian zoo has one?
Oh, I'm not sure.
And they're like, please pay attention. It was just all of a sudden like Mudeng and Pesto the penguin taking the internet by storm. There's Biscuit the seal.
Aw.
Just all of these little cuties.
So many little guys, it's hard to keep track.
This is what the internet should be for.
Animals. Well, there was
Yes.
that other sweet spot in internet history where it was just cats. Just lol cats constantly.
Ceiling cat.
Ceiling cat,
Can
long
has cheeseburger.
cat, keyboard cat. I can has cheeseburger, yep. Just so many.
A good old. I saw this post the other day that was like, I miss when memes were just like a one-off silly thing that made sense to me. Nowadays, I don't understand the memes.
I was on Reddit the other day, and do you know Loss?
No.
The
Yes.
meme. You do? Okay.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
XKCD, the other one. Control delete.
The control delete, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm in a translator subreddit where people are like, I need this translated, please help. And it was a Chinese person, and it was a Lost comic, and they were like, please explain this for me in Chinese, I don't understand. And everyone was like, don't even bother to.
No, it's just too many layers deep.
It's too many layers. And then somebody did it, and you could see like all the Chinese characters, and then it said loss, and then it said hair loss, because it was basically a woman turning to a man. No, a woman with a child, and the child's like, that man is bald. And the woman said, haha, you're bald. Why are you bald? And he said, hair loss. And she was like, Lamau loss. And then it just had a speech bubble with loss in it. And it was really stupid and abstract. And this person wanted it explained. And everyone in the comments was just, for want of a better word, they were at a loss. They were just like, how the hell do we explain this? It's so bizarre. It was really funny.
It's like when you just get the dumbest, like when you think of like in jokes with friends, and you're like, why do we say this? And then you just peel back so many layers of like, and it just turns out, it's because one person once stumbled over their words once and said something wrong, and now it's just become this law.
Yep. Exactly. Oh dear.
Dear, oh dear.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear.
I wonder what dreams of pigeons mean, other than pigeons are lovely.
Pigeons are cool and nice.
Dreaming about a pigeon flying away can symbolize a desire for freedom or a longing to break free of constraints or limitations in your waking life. What about dreams of rescuing a pigeon? Good omens? Apparently pigeons are good omens.
Oh, are they? Oh, that's nice.
I found a cardigan the other day that is made to look like a pigeon, as if you are a pigeon. And I think this might have
I was
been...
going to say, like, they have such nice colours, like with the purples and the blues.
Yeah. And then there was also, I saw someone made like a pigeon bag out of a pigeon model, which I think is why there was a pigeon bag in my dream as well. I just love pigeons.
Just love pigeons.
Yeah.
They're just little guys. They're just trying to get on with their life, you know?
Maybe, I've already chosen my Halloween outfit. Otherwise, it could have been a pigeon.
This is exactly what I was just thinking of during this whole conversation. I was like, how could I become a pigeon?
Have you decided what? Oh wait, you have decided what you're
I
going to
do
do
know
for
what I'm going to do.
Halloween.
Yeah, hopefully it works out. But yeah, I do. I have an idea.
Nice. I was trying to think what we could do for a Halloween special as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We're just going to have some nightmares.
Yeah. I mean, I'll try my best. I can eat cheese before bed.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
doable, right?
And we still need to do our idea with
With RT.
With RT, yeah.
Yeah, we did talk about that. Like we were telling, I went to an event the other day for Mario Party Jamboree, and RT was there, and Martin Littlewood was there. And yeah, RT was just telling Martin, like, oh yeah, like about, because Martin asked how the podcast was going, and RT was like, yep, I need to talk to Lewis. I want it to be done. I want to go ghost hunting, and like we'll take Lewis with us, and it would be great. And I was like, hell yeah, let's go, let's do it.
My gosh, yes. I've been watching a lot of that ghost theory channel I told you about. And it's basically just like two friends, just two guys who have been friends for a long time. And they started off as urban explorers. And they, but then they started doing paranormal investigations alongside it. So they're like go into a house that's been abandoned for however many years, and they're like look around the house, and then they also have things like REM pods and the EMF readers and like the little bells that you have on hotel desks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the time, like they do get scared, but they are also quite skeptic, and they debunk everything. So they'll be like, okay, the REM pod went off, but now we realize it's because of this, and we heard this banging noise. Turns out the window was open. It was banging. But it means that when they can't explain it, you're like, well, it's definitely a ghost then, isn't it? And
it must be.
I was watching one the other day where they went into this place and they set up a REM pod and the bell and one of this thing that's called a prism that has like a green light on one side and a red light on the other side, so that they can be like, they can ask like yes or no questions, and they do green for yes, red for no. And it kept on like playing, like the REM pod kept going off and the prism kept going off. And then they were like, okay, like, thank you so much for setting those off. I don't suppose you could set off the bell as well. And as soon as they said it, the bell went off. And I was just like, oh. And they have a camera that's just showing like, you can see that nothing's actually touching it, sort of thing. And I was just like, oh, and they're both just like, oh my gosh.
Oh,
and then they started asking questions, and they were being like, say, like, set the REM pod off if it's yes and do nothing for no. And they're like, okay, are we safe here? And it didn't go off. And they're like, okay, let's reverse it. Now set it off for no. Are we safe here? And it was like, weep, weep, weep. And they were like, okay.
Okay. Oh, God, I would poo my pants.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
But like, the more I watch it, the more I'm like, oh, I want to try and do that. I would be so bad. I'd be terrified, but I also want to give it a go.
Oh, God.
I think the thing I would mostly be scared of is so many times they're going around and like other people show up. And for me, that is scarier because there's like an immediate threat of like, I don't know these people or why they're here or what they're like.
Yeah.
Because they had one time where they went into this place and they were planning to stay there overnight. They'd like set up a tent, and all of a sudden they heard people, and it was like people who had turned up to, I think, just muck around with like airsoft rifles. But to them, they just see people outside with rifles and they're like, we don't know why they're here. It could be perfectly innocent, but we're just seeing people with guns. And then all of a sudden,
terrifying.
From like deeper in the building, they started hearing like angle grinders, because I guess people are coming along to like steal copper and stuff. But if you're just alone in the middle of the night in a building and you hear angle grinders, you're just like, okay.
Okay, cool. Guess this is happening.
Yeah. And they were like,
oh my God.
They stayed for so much longer than I would have. I was literally shouting at the TV like, get out, just leave. It's not worth it. Just leave it. But
oh my God.
It was quite funny because they like went towards the noise, and they're like whispering just saying like, one of them was just like, we should leave. Why aren't we leaving? Just stop, like, get away. And then all of a sudden you just hear these voices from up the stairs. And it's funny because you're obviously in the mind of like ghostly noises and strange noises and stuff. And then you just hear this guy being like, are you finished with the ladder, Dave? I was like, oh my gosh, the ghost wants a ladder.
No, not Dave.
Oh dear, oh dear. But yeah, I recommend it. It's a good channel for just like I find it really cozy for some reason.
Oh, no, that does sound nice, if not spooky. I mean, it's nice that I am not there personally.
Yeah.
But to watch it would be fine.
That's the thing. Alex is like, why don't you get scared by it? And I'm like, because I know that they edit it, so they must have survived. If they've put a video out, then they're okay.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh.
Well, Kirsty, thank you for a lovely chat.
And thank you very much for a lovely chat.
And thank you, everyone, for listening. And I guess we will be back next week with hopefully a spooky episode.
Very spooky. I mean, I'll have to try my best to have some nightmares. I rarely have them. But if I eat some cheese, we'll see.
If we don't have any nightmares, we can just talk about the scary days of the internet again. So that'll be,
true.
Be fun.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe we can get a guest on who has a bunch of nightmares. I'm sure we can find someone.
A tortured guest.
Yes.
Excellent.
Tortured because they have to be on a podcast with us.
Whoa. Well, until next time, everybody. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.